Hello everyone and welcome back to the PRJX podcast. I am Alex and this is Noor. And today's episode is going to be on emerging technology. So, for emerging technology, what kind of ideas do you think are emerging right now? Or what's being developed right now, do you think?
Well, I think it's all about these ideas of autonomous cars, I don't know, you get into the simple things, which is like Siri and the AI and what that can do.
Yeah.
And AR and whatever, like there's a lot of things that are, I'm not really...
There's a lot of new things coming
in.
Being developed.
It's a lot of prototyping coming in, as you may say, like it's a prototyping stage where things are just smashing into stuff.
Exactly. I'd say over the past 2 years, we've had a lot of radical innovations come in when it comes to technology, as you said, with AR, VR, self-driving cars. We'll go into all of it. So to start with,
very interesting.
The main thing with emerging technology is that a lot of the technology already exists. The way it develops is through adding on these incremental innovations to it. And this is the thing, the way marketers and researchers predict technology to evolve over the next 2 to 3 years is actually in changes of interface with technology.
And what do you mean by interface, if I ask?
So take your mobile phone. When the touchscreen phone was when the mobile phone came out, it was a radical innovation because you had landlines, mobile phone, obviously a phone that is mobile.
Yeah, you can go anywhere with it.
And then incremental innovations on the mobile phone go from it being a dial-up keyboard to it being like text notification to it being touchscreen to more recently the whole phone is a screen that you just carry around with you. This is what it means by incremental innovation, developing on an already existing product. So the way they predict most technologies to evolve is by changes in interface with more of these incremental innovations. And with that comes changes in interactions and how we engage with technology. The thing is, if you take something like the Amazon Alexa, for example, it's been around for a few years now, and people are still getting used to it. But what is so special about it is that it's voice recognition, and now it has the functionality to control a house.
It's like your personal assistant.
Exactly, it's like a PA for you. You can turn on lights in your house with it. You can check whatever you want from your something you want to Google. You can ask Alexa to find it for you. These are the sort of things that are integrating.
But I have a question with that, like seeing like such thing before we get into the deep stuff, like with Alexa, don't you think maybe this might be a solution to lazy people? It's helping people become less lazy, or you're becoming less proactive. I think you become like, oh, I have this guy like, Alexa, please tell me this.
I see where you're coming from.
And now even Google started this as well, and you see it in different places. Even Facebook started developing something towards it. Everyone's starting to go into it.
I think with how technology evolves, one of the main things that it evolves towards is becoming more simple for the user. Because when technology does evolve, it's a very user-centric design, typically behind how it evolves. And you have this with the Alexa. You don't even have to press buttons on it. You can turn it on with your voice. You turn it off with your voice. You can ask it to tell you a joke. So, like I said, light monitoring, functionality with heating in houses and electricity, even with water. And so the main thing with emerging technology and then evolving this technology is making interactions less physical, for example, using Alexa as the main example here. So why does technology need to evolve, and why do we need more emerging technologies? Well, it's mainly to improve how people can gain access to information.
Easier.
Exactly. So there's a quote here, "The class of the future needs accessibility for everyone, whether this be to be a well-informed voter, to be a well-equipped student, to be a high-performing employee." It's about strengthening communities, giving them equitable access to this technology.
Yeah.
So going on from that, that's the reasoning behind why it evolves and kind of how it's going to evolve. Now we have the emerging techs. So the first emerging tech I wanted to talk to you about is known as the Internet of Things.
What is this kind of Internet of Things?
Have you ever come across the Internet of Things before?
Well, I haven't really. Some people may think I'm stupid because I don't really know what Internet of Things are, but like we just had it in one of the classes recently, Internet of Things, and they assumed you all know it, but you don't want to say you don't know it because in class you just feel like an idiot.
This is the thing.
So I just wanted to know more, like,
the Internet of Things is more of a technological concept that everyone uses, but no one really understands what it is. So to give an example of what the Internet of Things is, this is from CompTIA's second annual Top 10 Emerging Technologies report. The emerging technology offering greatest opportunities to create business and new revenues, bringing different meanings and definitions to different groups and parties. So for a business, the Internet of Things will mean something different to a politician, to a consumer,
to a singer, to whatever.
Exactly. So what IoT does, that's it, abbreviated, it's about connecting information online. So for example, cookies as a marketing thing is one example of the Internet of Things. You get an advert on, say, Facebook or a social platform, say it's like for a hoodie or whatever, you click on that hoodie, Facebook recognizes you like that brand, that information is then sold off and provided to other companies who can then target you directly with ads.
And they keep spamming you with it, yeah.
That's kind of Internet of Things from a business point of view to a consumer. If you take it, for example, from, let's say, a band perspective, you might go online and look up something such as, say, new guitars or whatever. Then in future, new guitars, new brand, emerging brands, developing brands are going to be targeted to you.
So we can say that it differentiates when you look at the context between different people. So it's different. IoT is different for different people and different types of.
Exactly, it's a different definition
in the context
for each party that uses it.
Yeah.
And one of the special things about it is this means that companies no longer have to be built from scratch, from like absolutely nothing, because IoT defines that the resources to make a company already exist out there, and this is just a way for entities to adapt those resources to their needs. An example of this could be setting up an online shop. Wix, website developer.
Yeah.
Already out there.
Create your own website.
You go on the website, you customize it completely to what your business needs. As soon as you're happy with it, you publish it, you've set up a business.
Easy as that.
You don't have to do it from scratch anymore. It's literally as easy as that. And that's what Internet of Things is kind of about. It's making information accessible to everyone.
That's nice to have.
Usually that information is targeted. So like I say, it's not necessarily a physical thing, but it's something we all use, but no one really
looks
is aware
into it.
of it.
Do you think like Internet of Things, it's been here for a while, or is it has been with us all the time we've been alive, or is it just something we've seen as it started 10 years ago, or is it when the internet started? Like,
So
is it something?
It would have.
Are we aware of it, or has it been there and we're not aware of it, or is it just like?
The thing is, the Internet of Things has always been there,
But we just never.
but it never had a term for it. It's only now that it's kind of been realized what the Internet of Things is, and then it's had a label applied to it, calling it this.
Internet of
what
Things.
it is. And like I say, it's about accessible information for everyone. So that's IoT as an emerging tech.
That's interesting.
The next thing to go on to is AI as an emerging technology.
AI is huge these days. Everyone's all talking about AI.
Thing is, AI has got multiple uses, whether it be for a business or for a product. Self-driving cars run on AI. Computer algorithms.
Chat bots on the Facebook or whatever.
Exactly. You can program AIs to even compete with humans when it comes to stuff like chess or cards or Go or.
Do you think they will revolutionize this world AI? Maybe we don't need to be humans.
There's AI currently. A lot of AI learns on its own. So you program AI to do a certain thing, like in a game. So say you're playing chess against an AI. You play one round, AI will be awful.
then it takes time to understand
If you play the next round, it recognizes
your
patterns in how you play.
And now
you still might win again. The third round, it's kind of analyzed exactly how you play. You might tie. Fourth round, it'll beat you. Fifth round, you're destroyed. Sixth round,
just keeps doing
you don't have a hope. It evolves and learns through its own means. So this is kind of the thing where people are questioning whether or not super intelligence AI should be constructed.
Yeah.
Because if something self-learns, it can have not necessarily have a conscious, but in terms of finding easy ways to solve problems, if you have an AI that is implemented to solve a problem such as world hunger, it's going to look for the easiest way to solve the problem of world hunger. Now, if it's super intelligence and it has access to the internet, the easiest way to solve world hunger will be take out humans. Then you don't have hunger problem to solve. And this is where the whole argument kind of comes into play. Is it too dangerous?
I was looking at it before the AI. I'm very intrigued with it. I've always been into it, and I'm always this guy who looks at the new tech things, what's happening and all this. I came along a quote from the late Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
He was saying, there is a powerful AI will be either the best or the worst everything to happen to humanity. We don't know which is going to be, whether it's going to be the best or the worst. And that was his prediction before he died.
A lot of people speculate whether or not AI will whether it will propel humankind forward or whether or not it will be its demise.
Because you don't know, maybe humans die in the next future and it's all robotics and it's all like, there's no use for humans anymore. Like now of course you don't, like I would never buy an autonomous car. Like when you look at it, I would never do it. In certain countries it's just, it's too risky.
Right.
I wouldn't be feeling safe having someone else driving for me.
Well, it's not really the case of someone else.
It's like a robot that knows the algorithm. I would be very, some things are just unforeseen. So like if someone crosses the road and the computer doesn't know that the guy's going to cross the road, in some countries it comes to really wild. Like,
do you not think an AI is smarter than a human?
In some sense, but like you have to drive it, or the human has to path its way to certain things, like in a car.
Well, the thing with Teslas and how they install self-driving cars is they have 17 cameras around the entire car.
17 cameras?
All built in around the car on the underneath. And they're constantly recording footage of around the car. So that when it wants to park on its own, it's monitoring it via multiple cameras and it parks on its own.
17 cameras?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, say you're going somewhere, you want to go to university, or you want to go wherever, you want to go to the pub, or you want to go wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
And a computer's like, sorry, we have to take route A. And like, you don't want to take route A, you want to go to route F.
You can program that route.
Really? I don't know, like it'd be very...
it's like if you use Google Maps or Apple Maps.
Yeah, you can choose which route, but like, maybe it can come to this sense of like, no, it's gonna come to a stage where AI is gonna force things on you. It's like, no, I'm gonna do this my way. Like, you're not gonna have the option. I think so. I just feel like we're gonna come to a stage where humans don't have an option. It's my way or the road. You're gonna be like, it's this way or this way. You're not.
So you're not worried, but like you're concerned about the restrictions.
Humans won't have a choice at some point. It's gonna be that point where like we're not there anymore. Yeah. Like until now, we don't have we can't really depend on AI and most of like autonomous cars, and you see them failing every day and everything, because we are the ones who program them to do certain things. Like we can say we are the mothers or fatherhood of this thing. We are the ones who created this. We are the creators. But it is like they do mistakes, so it's like, do you want to live your life in a very risky thing, or do you want to be in control?
Man versus his maker.
Yeah, so it's like what do you want to get into, and like it's gonna be risky because like at some point you want to do your choices as well. Like, yes, computers are great, Google is nice, Siri is cool, Alexa's fine, but sometimes it's like I want to do it my way.
Screw the machine.
Screw the machine.
You don't tell me what
I
to
know
do.
you're true, but like I want to do it my way. Even if this is fast, I want to go route F. I want to do this.
Yeah.
That's what I'm scared of. Like we might not have a choice in the end. Like it might be like, no, you're not. It's not part of you. And that might be in the companies. Like we don't need to have a board of directors. It's just going to be the computer saying, yeah, I think this choice is this.
Well, going on from that, actually, the things about artificial AI is that it's becoming increasingly commoditized into daily life.
Yeah.
So, like I said earlier about the Alexa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like you're depending on that person to do something. And
in the same way, though, you could say mobile phones being an extension of human now. It's again, it is commoditized into life.
It's like we're depending.
AI is just the next thing to be introduced.
Like we're depending our lives on these things, which we are the creators, or we are the coders, or we are doing something. This is very scary to jump into this level. I feel like we're jumping into something we don't really have our sense of. And this is, of course, like still we have 20 years to go in, but like as I'm speaking to you right now, technology is emerging crazily. There's things happening all around the world. We're changing, but it's like, what are we really going to be in this world where like this is where we're going to be?
Yeah.
Living in this very weird robotic world.
Or do you not think AI is the next evolution?
It is, but
for mankind.
Like, are we? The question is, are humans ready for it, or is it too early? That's the question. Are we ready to get into this next industrial revolution or technological revolution, as they say?
Do you think you can prepare for it?
I don't know. It's just too scary. I feel like
'cause we've already got AI.
Yeah, we do, but like we have it to a certain extent.
We don't have super intelligent.
Yeah, but
we
like
just have intelligent.
Do you think like we say like yeah we already have AI, but is it gonna be we are integrating small parts of it? Siri, Alexa, autonomous cars, Tesla are trying it. Everyone, Google is trying it. But that's only a small portion of what we can see through AI. AI is maybe a small dot, like it's still not majorly expanding. It's just that small loop that's still in our lives. They just digested it into, they're trying out what things can happen. Imagine if the world's always robotic. Now we don't have like, you're used to a certain system and the system changes drastically. How is this affecting our lives? Like, is this, especially the older generations, say me and you maybe, yeah, it's fine, Alexa, we're fine with this, we're fine with it. But the older generations, people in the 60s or 70s, are they like, yeah, we may say like they're almost gonna die, but like still, you know, they have a saying as well, like it's, I don't know, like it scares me. It's a very scary world. AI is very scary.
Do you not think it will be equally as beneficial for mankind as opposed to detrimental to?
It depends on how we use it. I feel like
problem solving, for example.
Problem solving. No, I feel that it's good, but it depends as well, like who is using it, which company is using it.
That's the main thing I think is being debated right now. Who can have access?
Who is using it? Which
AI.
company is using it? Because Optimum AI, I don't think anyone has used it, or maybe they do, but no one is still getting into it. Because Optimum AI, whoever has it, he has optimum power to himself. He's gonna revolutionize something. He has just the button to. I think someone has Optimum AI, and they just have to press the button, but they're scared to do it because it's gonna have a lot of things towards it. I just feel it's but it's massive. Like it's a massive world, and you get into loops, and it's a very, you know.
One thing as well people raise is how when humans look at ants, absolutely tiny little insects, no problem in kind of crushing them or whatever. If they get in the way, they're in the way, they're now gone. And one of the debates is that when AI grows to super intelligent level, it will view us as the ants. And if we get in the way of it, we just get removed.
We get removed.
And that's why the debate
That's why I'm scared.
It can't be used as a weapon.
That's what I'm saying. It depends where you're getting. You can get into weaponry and get into nukes and all this stuff. You can also doing it like trying to get a smart home or get whatever, which already exists, like the smart homes where you clap and the lights close or the sensor opens, and all these things are just starting there. And like, Alexa, open the door. Alexa, do this. Alexa,
open the door. Letting the mailman
bring him in. Email George with this. I forgot my homework. All these things are already there, or they're implemented. But when it is full optimum there in front of you, it's gonna look a very scary world. We don't know who's gonna use it, for what reasons. Someone can get crazy with it. It's scary. And I don't know. Like, would you like to see full AI stuff, like robotics everywhere? Would you like to see this? Would you like to see the next? Even though we're going to see it, we never know. But like, do you like?
To an extent, I think it will happen because it is the next evolution for mankind. And especially with what's happening with Neuralink right now. Do you know about Neuralink?
No, what is Neuralink? Is this the thing that I think Elon Musk was talking about?
It's another one of his companies. Basically,
how many companies does he have?
He has many. Neuralink is a chip that gets installed in the back of the neck on the spine of a person. It's not launched yet. It's being tested.
How do you install a chip in your...
Yeah, using surgery. Install it on the spine. And it adds another system to the body. So you have the nervous system and you have the limbic system. And this chip connects to the spinal cord and adds a digital system into the body.
And what can this digital system do?
The chip is essentially a computer. And the way it connects to the brain is once it's attached to the nerves in the spine, it connects to the brain via the electric charges, creating bandwidth between the chip and the brain. And essentially what it is installing a chip computer into a human.
So that means like no one will fail exams anymore, no one will...
It means you've got a computer in your head.
Yes, so if I can go to any exam, I'll just have like... So I have a question, so this will bring in that humans will never start thinking again? Like we'll depend on the computer.
Of humans will lose their humanity to it.
Yeah, so we'll lose, it's a very scary thing, we'll not think anymore. Our mental brain is not going to be the same, it's going to change to...
But again, do you not think that's not a natural, but an evolution for humans? Do you not see it as beneficial?
I see it, yeah, but like, sometimes I feel we have a big imagination having this, but like...
Essentially, if you can picture it this way, if you want to find out something, you'll grab your phone, you'll load up Google, and you'll search how to learn the piano in a year. With this system in your neck, it takes away the having to search it element because you're searching it already.
And like, do you watch the videos through your eyes? Like, it's like a projector.
It's not necessarily that, but it's having the information accessible on the chip that's connected to the brain via bandwidth.
Will your brain not, like, saying you have all this information up to you, you have all the information on the internet in a glance, won't this like make your brain, you have a migraine, won't you like feel like there's a problem? You have all that information under a glance. So what will make, what will make me different to you? We're all the same then.
Well, that's the thing, it's evolving intelligence in humans as well.
Like, with that, yeah.
If you want to learn the piano, you don't have to study it for 12 years until you're grade 8. You'll just know it.
So we'll all ace exams, we'll all have the same thinking.
We don't need exams anymore.
We'll all be the same.
It'll be like a hive mind.
Alex is going to be like Noor, Noor's going to be like Alex. We're all going to be robots. We're going to be like all black and white, all orange,
it's not turning people into robots, but it's integrating the brain with a computer.
Yeah. Adding to that point,
which is essentially turning into a cyborg.
Adding to the point of what you're just saying about Elon Musk, about the chip in the back, I also heard of it. I don't know, you can correct me. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but like he was talking about this thing where telepathic messages, so like I can send you messages and I can also think.
It's because in your head you would have messaging services. If you have a computer in your neck connected to the brain, you can have access to social media. Send a message that way and you'd receive it.
No. He had this idea of like not just with social media, without even the phone or the computer or this. I would be reading your mind right now without...
Oh, I have no idea. But Neuralink's a very interesting concept. It's something that I'd recommend people look up because it is happening. It's probably only going to be available to the mega rich when it launches. If not that, they'll probably even designate it to certain people. But Neuralink is a very real thing.
That's the scary thing. These things that you never listen about or hear about, those are the things where like are changing the world.
Exactly.
And that's what people need to look at and like, oh, this is happening. I need to start looking at these things. People can't just be sitting at home and thinking we're in a perfect world. You just have to start knowing what's happening because this is important things. It's evolving.
Exactly. So going on from AI, the next development in technology is 5G. So from 4G to 5G. And this is a significant development because when you have 5G network, not only does it make accessing your phone faster when you don't have Wi-Fi, but it also adds more processing power for organizations through their own networks as
like
well.
In what sense would that make? Don't they have the cloud or something?
You can make more powerful apps, for example, with 5G data.
Really?
You can have more powerful designs in computers and whatnot. So the thing with 5G is that it will drive the development of more complex apps and services that are able to solve problems. And the way this is done is by providing wireless bandwidth at a speed and latency required, well, a faster requirement, essentially. Like I say, it's all about increasing the speed, which in turn is a result of increasing the processing power. And because of this, it makes things like autonomous driving, well, it makes it a reality. Michael Haynes, the director of partner incentives at Microsoft, stated that once 5G is deployed geographically, it will help emerging markets realize the same speed of business growth as their mature counterparts. Solution providers that develop 5G-based systems for specific industry applications will have the early mover advantage. So he's basically stating that people who utilize 5G before other companies
are going to get an advantage in the market.
An advantage because they will have more power to them.
But do you think this is the world ready for 5G?
Absolutely.
Because I see it in China and other countries and even in England now. They're starting to develop this idea of 5G. But do you think we're ready to go into this movement of 5G and leave 4G? Is 4G done now with? Is 4G, can we say goodbye to 4G and hello to 5G and say this is the next evolution?
Well, the thing is, it takes over 4G. It removes, it doesn't necessarily remove 4G, you're just adding onto it and then retitling it.
Yeah, because like some countries...
Because it's not a product.
Yeah.
5G isn't a product, it's a network. And when that network gets upgraded, it gets renamed.
Yeah, because some countries don't even... They say they have 4G, but they don't really have 4G. Especially the developing countries in Africa or wherever. They haven't even reached to the optimum 4G to get into 5G. That was just like...
Yeah.
That's scary, but it's interesting 5G that we're into. I never thought that we'd get into 5G very soon.
No, I didn't think it would come this early, to be honest. The next thing to talk about in emerging tech is serverless computing.
What does this mean?
So a serverless computer is a computer that can run without human interaction.
So what do you mean like a supercomputer?
It's a computer that operates itself.
In what sense? What do you mean by operate itself? Like,
so you turn it on, and then say you're using it in a business, it just starts working on its own.
But don't you have to...
Imagine it's being controlled by an AI. You don't put any inputs in. It works on its own.
But I'd assume we'd have to tell it like, send emails to 600 clients.
That would be how it's programmed.
Yeah. But it won't so I don't have to get an extra employee, I can just have an extra space for this guy,
This
George.
is the thing, when it comes to, one of the uses of it is running accounts in business and finance. Usually you have an accountant, he'll sit in front of the screen
and do the balance sheets,
plug in the balance sheets, the income statements. The serverless computer, once it's been fed that data, will just do it. You don't need the human interaction. It will just feed it in, transform it, and create it.
Wow. So this will put a lot of people at home. They just sit at home. People don't need to go to jobs now. Like the company.
Well, it removes certain jobs.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like.
So what it essentially allows is a no operations IT environment, and this environment is automated and abstract from traditional structures. You have machines running the jobs instead of people. So, like I said, these are computers that operate themselves without human interaction, other than, I suppose, turning them on and off. And what's beneficial about this? Well, it reduces operational costs. You're not hiring someone, you don't have to pay a machine a salary. And it also allows a business to invest and develop in more capabilities for the machine.
Yeah.
So you might have a machine that not only does accounts, but it also does IT logistics. So it does two people's jobs.
2 in 1.
And then you might have one that does 3 in 1, 4, etc. You might set up a company and just have a computer run it.
oh no, this would be very scary. If the computer explodes or something, or
well, then you're a bit screwed, but from that.
You know, it's like, you have to have, like, as like they say today, you have to have something to back up to.
Yeah.
I'd like to always have something backed up, just because it's a scary world to depend. Like, we had someone in, nothing related to this, but like, we had someone in first year, I remember in the exam we had for economics, a girl, she did all her essay exam, and we had to do it, like, we had to write 4 hours. It was crazy. She wrote it all on her laptop. In 1 minute, her laptop crashed. The essay was gone.
That's a problem, overloading.
So it's like, how much terabytes can this store, or what? You know,
Exactly.
That's like, you need to have at least some individuals to be there.
Exactly.
I would be scared speaking to an empty chair.
Yeah.
Where's
Speaking
George?
to your laptop.
Where's George? Where's Adam? Where's Michael?
Yeah.
Where's
a board of directors that is just MacBooks?
Yeah. Where's Michelle? Where's the guy for the tea and coffee? You know, where's everyone?
Brings it in.
You just see it.
Exactly. So that's serverless computing, another emerging technology.
That's very interesting.
Now, this is one that a lot of people have heard of, but not a lot of people understand.
What is this?
This is blockchain.
Oh,
another emerging technology.
It came in really recently with Bitcoin and all this.
When people think blockchain, or when people hear blockchain, they immediately assume cryptocurrency.
Like Bitcoin and all that.
But blockchain is more than just cryptocurrency. So blockchain becomes more integrated into businesses as there is now a greater requirement to fulfill transaction and payment security.
So it helps you do payments securely more than
It's a method of cybersecurity, blockchain.
Yeah.
So consider it makes it so your payments can't be tracked.
So it's like PayPal, but on a safer element or something?
It's not necessarily a platform like PayPal. It's a term, an umbrella term for cybersecurity, blockchain.
Like, how would you use it, or how would you get to...
So, blockchain, it is distributed in, well, it only applies to electronic payment systems. And one of the main things people think of, like I said, is cryptocurrency, because one element of blockchain is cryptocurrency. As I say, if blockchain is the umbrella term for cybersecurity, cryptocurrency is untraceable, almost economics.
Of course, yeah.
And as I say, that's an element of cybersecurity. So one element is virtual currency, and it facilitates the commission of online anonymous transactions. Dawn Song, who is the CEO of Oasis Labs, this company is basically about privacy-first computing.
Is that like is this in the US, or is it?
Yeah, in the United States. So Dawn Song of CEO Labs said 2018 was a year focused on business scalability. 2019 is a year focused on business privacy. And this is why blockchain is being integrated more, because it is about cybersecurity. Blockchain is mentioned a lot now after the GDPR laws have been introduced.
So I think it's more of an internal thing of a company than it's something abroad. Like.
Exactly. You will hire someone to work on blockchain in your company if you want them to develop a new security system for your employees and your customers, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So blockchain is the umbrella term for this new movement of cybersecurity.
So it's not like PayPal, it's not a platform, it's not
a platform.
So it's not something you'd go to like Amazon on and you want to buy something and it's like, here's the choices to pay with, Visa, blah, 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 but there's a blockchain choice.
No, so it's not like that.
I'm just learning because I haven't heard blockchain as much, so I'm just understanding.
As I say, the most well-known form of it is cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Because it makes it completely anonymous who this transaction is coming from. You only know where it's going. You don't know what it is or
and it's not tangible, huh? It's an intangible thing.
Blockchain is intangible, but obviously cryptocurrency is tangible because it's got a value to it.
Yeah. So can we all have blockchain? So can I have blockchain? Can you have blockchain?
It's not necessarily about having blockchain, because like I said, it's just a better term for cybersecurity. That's very generalized, but it's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
So blockchain is privacy-preserving techniques combined with blockchain can enable decentralized applications to protect data. Techniques such as zero-knowledge proofs and homomorphic encryption have witnessed greater research and development from blockchain since 2018.
Yeah, it's good for security then.
It's basically a security measure, blockchain. So the next technology is robotics.
Ooh.
This is probably one that will gauge you. So robotics, how would you define a robot?
Something that does not look like a human. Something
An elephant?
No, something not with something without a heart. Something.
Okay.
Something that is metal. Something
So
that looks like in the movies.
Is a dishwasher a washing machine?
A dishwasher, a washing machine.
A dishwasher a robot, sorry. And is a washing machine a robot? And is a computer a robot?
I don't know, because when I think of a robot, it's your personal assistant or this guy, or I think if it's a... But you can, of course, change this, I don't know.
So when you think of a robot, you think of a
it
metal
does something
humanoid.
for you. So
you think of like a Terminator kind of model.
Yeah, something that either it's going to attack you or that this guy that's helping you.
Yeah,
or, but in the sense of, you can say that a washing machine is a robot, it's because it does something for you. It does this. You can of course change the wording of what a robot does and what it does. It's very interesting. Like, it can be a dishwasher, it can be a robot, because it serves you. It does the washing, it cleans the dishes, it does this. But
so the thing with robotics is it's very debated what the actual definition of a robot is.
What do you think a robot is? Just before you think like...
Oh, before I read a well-recognized definition, I would say a robot is a machine that can carry out a task autonomously.
Anything? Or like
anything.
It doesn't have to be like an individual form?
It doesn't have to be a humanoid figure. If a machine can carry out a task autonomously without human input, then it's a robot, in my opinion. So the definition that's kind of well recognized is a robot is a programmable machine that physically interacts with the world around it and is capable of carrying out a complex series of actions autonomously or semi-autonomously.
Wow. Just exactly similar to what you were
Similar to what I said, yes.
Banging. Amazing.
So why is robotics advancing, do you think?
Just the same as AI and everything. I think it's something...
It's just a natural evolution.
It just has to be done.
Yeah.
It's something that's there.
It's something that's been recognized and needs to evolve.
Like, I was just recently watching, I can't remember which country really, but they put this testing in, they built a robot, and like a human kind of person.
Human kind of person?
Yeah, not like
a Terminator T-100?
No, nothing too scary, nothing too scary to kill
Killed John Connor?
No, nothing too, wow, we're exchanging, just this thing. It was in a diner.
Right.
It's just a waiter. They made the robot to be a waiter.
Robotic waiter.
So the robot goes, takes your stuff, takes the plates, sends it to the consumer. But they found a problem with that for the first time when they did it. The robot took 25 minutes to go to the customer.
Okay.
So the guy was like,
yeah.
Please no.
You need improvements in the robot's AI.
Yeah, so like the robot was taking 25 minutes from the desk, from the kitchen to the customer. That's terrible. Yeah. It's just trying out, but like, I'd be scared living with robots, to be honest.
So like you said, there's different types of robots, and as you explained with the waiter. So these are the categories for types of robots.
Categories?
So there are collaborative robots, which are robots that work with people.
They don't agonize you.
So these are the kind of robots you would see in a storage facility. It's like a crane arm. It goes in, it picks up a box, puts it down over here.
That's why you find it like in a supermarket or in a warehouse.
Exactly like that. That's a collaborative robot. There's a telepresence robot. So you know, one that cold calls you and tells you about how you could get PPI claims, etc. There's the telepresence robots. There are warehousing and logistics automation. So robots that feed data back to the head office, for example. Healthcare robots in the hospitality sector, etc. And there are self-driving vehicle robots as well. So all 5 of those are an independent field of robotics.
And there is no such thing as the human,
the Terminator.
No, like just an idealized human being person. Like when you say a robot, when someone says a robot, you think of a person that does.
I'd probably say that's mainly because of films.
Just metals, made out of metals and stuff.
And why has the field advanced? Well, there's 4 reasons. Falling sensor prices. It's becoming cheaper to manufacture robots.
Really?
Open source development. So robotics is no longer privatized by, say, a government entity.
So anyone
Companies can now just go out and research and create robots if they like.
I can make a robot if I want?
If you knew how to.
Yeah, just get some screws and just make one.
Rapid prototyping. It's like you said earlier about prototyping. It's far easier and quicker to develop a prototype for a robot, test it. Oh, it's got something wrong with its arm. Tweak that. Okay, it punched a human. Just tweak that. Okay, now it's making soup. That's what we wanted.
Change the coding. Just change.
And the final one is convergence of disparate technologies. This essentially means a collaboration of multitasking technology. So technologies can now work in tandem easier to create a robot. That's why the field is advancing so much.
And you think robots will always be friendly and helpful for the humans? Or they think there might be using it for wars and stuff like that?
Let's see if they go into the military, and then we'll ask that question again.
Just use some machine guns and like...
Exactly. So the next emerging technology, there's not a lot to say on these few, but the next one is biometrics. And on this one, I actually want to raise a question to you.
Go ahead.
So biometrics, it's about facial, fingerprint, retina, voice scanning.
We've seen this recently a lot.
Exactly, it's really becoming, every phone now has a fingerprint scanner. iPhone's got the retina, everything. Facial, etc. They're mainstream methods to verify someone's identity.
Even when you go to the embassies or anything, they're like, fingerprints, please, anything they want.
Exactly. Some companies even take your fingerprint.
When you go in, just check in.
Yeah, and like once you've had your fingerprint taken, they upload it onto their system. Yeah. Instead of using a card to swipe you just touch the fingerprint scanner and you can go.
And they know that what time George came into the class or whenever he went to the office and what time he left as well.
And all the data gets tracked.
Yeah.
So it says these methods will secure the foundation for solutions delivered by IT companies moving forward. Now, the question I want to raise to you is, do you think biometrics, these forms of verifying identity, are going to replace passwords in the future?
I think they already do, just because I'm going to talk about my personal experiences of using accounts. On my Apple phone, like when I log in to anything, I already wrote the password the first time, but introducing these things with biometrics, they ask me always now for face recognition. And they save it onto the cloud, like all the passwords, or they have this thing where they store all the passwords, Gmail, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of them. And they're like, just to make sure, just facial.
Yeah.
Or even when you go to Vodafone or you go anywhere, they're like, please just go there, just to verify. But so you still need the passwords in some sense. Like when you go to a bank, they'll ask you for some things. But even today, like when I look at my bank account, when I want to open my bank account, I use facial recognition.
Yeah.
Using my face. I don't need to write a password, which keeps back to the point of being simple, which is really important.
And again, that's the main driver for evolution in technology.
Yeah, we wanted to make it simplify things for us. Other than that, I think it's going to change passwords, but some things are going to stay the same.
So do you think you'll still use like a password to get into email account, your YouTube account?
Some of them, yes.
Facebook, your social medias, will they remain password locked?
Sometimes, yes. I think till today, yes. But maybe say 10 years time, I think it will change.
I think it also depends as well on what level of security
you're getting into.
You're getting into.
Is it your bank account? Is it just an email?
Is it the Ministry of Defense? Or is
like if you're the president of the United States and your password is football or something, it's idiotic.
You're Donald Trump and your password is Donald Trump.
Yeah, you'll be hacked easily,
Exactly.
Everyone tries to hack everyone. What is good about biometrics, or what it's called biometrics, is that you can't change people's faces.
No.
Like if you try and open my face.
But you can remove a fingerprint.
Huh?
You can remove a fingerprint.
Yeah, but now people started to remove away this fingerprint thing, and now they're trying to just make it by face. And as technology is evolving,
as well as voice recognition as well.
Yeah, the Facebook, even with Siri, when you
don't really know how that'll work for like Scousers and Scots.
Hard luck.
Yeah.
When you get a phone,
doesn't matter where you're born.
When you get a new iPhone and you're setting it up, part of the Siri process is you say hello Siri, and you just say hello, and it tries to keep up with what you're saying, so it recognizes who you are. But with technology, as I said, and the coding and everything, they know biometrics are changing. Even with each iPhone or Google phone, they're changing the biometrics and making it different and making sure that if Alex changes his hair color, he's still Alex, and if Noor changes if he pierces his ear, he knows, they know.
If you shaved your beard, would it still recognize you?
Yeah, it still recognizes you, and it knows that it's no matter what you do to your face, you're still this kind of person.
Yeah.
Unless you change by your gender, when you became a female or something, which that's a different story, but like.
Yeah, I guess it would just find new ways of authentication.
But it will try, even if you don't get your biometrics onto the phone, they ask for a code, they ask for your passcode or they ask for a password.
So do you think biometrics, different levels of biometrics, like a facial scan, a fingerprint scan, don't know why I pointed at my face, a retinal scan, do you think they will combine them to make a password in the future? So you can only log into your bank if you pass the retina scan plus the fingerprint scan plus the facial scan? Or do you think they'll keep it to one?
I think they'll keep it to, it depends, as you said before, it depends on what security you're getting into and what you're doing. But I also think the password is key as well in some points where if you forgot, if you sometimes there's a problem with the fingerprint or something, they'll just ask for a simple 4-digit number.
Like a PIN number?
Yeah, just like a small number to know, or like something to just justify. Or they send you a text.
Yeah.
They say to justify, even when I go on my Vodafone account, every single time, they send me a message on the phone, please write this 4-digit number, just in case. I think this will still be there. And we have to make it simple. People in the older generations won't be able to say we're going to try use the phone and it won't really work. It's really hard for the older generations to use this.
Yeah.
Maybe the generations coming up, it's fine, it's perfect.
They'll grow up with it.
They're wizards.
Kind of thing.
No, they're wizards in it. They can ask them anything and they're like, oh yeah, look like this.
Yeah.
But people in the 60s and 70s now, they're like, this is going to be complicated.
Yeah.
For passwords are maybe the old-fashioned, very nice way to use things.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And what are your thoughts? Do you think it's...
Well, like I said, I think it will replace passwords in the future because it is just... it's much faster to recognize a fingerprint on the back of my phone here than it is to enter in my password.
It's simpler. It makes life easy.
I think it will replace them in the future. Yeah. The next piece of technology is 3D printing.
Wow.
So how is 3D printing evolving and why is it evolving?
Yeah, why is it evolving? I really like it, but I've never got the grasp of what it works.
So the reason why it's so popular is because it offers a solution for low volume manufacturing of complex parts.
Such as making
Think about certain screws.
Yeah.
So small complex parts that are quite difficult to mass produce because you really need the precision on them. 3D printing can just print it straight away.
So if I want some screws, I can just print screws?
Yeah.
20 screws, 3 screws.
So you got 10 3D printers.
Yeah.
Have them printing off one screw at a time.
Yeah.
Give it 15 minutes, you've got 10 screws.
So
that's kind of why it's becoming a big thing, because it allows for a mass production of smaller, concise parts for either technology or whatever it may be. Like I say, it comes down to enabling a high volume manufacture for complex parts. And this is specifically appealing because 3D printing has been around it's recent, but it's been around for a while at the same time.
Like 10 years? 5 years?
I wouldn't say 10 years, I couldn't put a date on it, but it's been in circulation for long enough that products are being priced competitively now because there's enough businesses out there making the printers.
There's people making cars out of 3D printing. That's
some people 3D print Lego and then build cars out of that Lego.
Yeah, that's also no, I'm saying manufacturing real cars that move.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy.
But that's kind of the opportunity for 3D printing out there. The next thing to go on to is VR and AR. So with VR and AR, it's mixed reality, powered by AI and sensor technology. How is this beneficial for organizations? Well, it aids organizations to, one, improve operational efficiency as well as individual productivity for employees. You can put yourself in a scenario in the company. Think about training, for example. Put a VR headset on, you can be literally put into a scenario in a company and be trained that way. While VR is not mainstream, it is still being invested heavily in by superpower companies. Google and Facebook are heavily investing in AR right now, AR and VR, releasing their own products. However, the reason it's not mainstream is because of the combination of, obviously it's a headset, it's a bulky and awkward piece of technology to use.
I guess this is expensive as well.
That's another thing. It's very awkward to use. The headsets are like astronomically priced, and there's not enough engaging content on a VR headset to really justify the purchase, if that makes sense. It will likely take off, given all the investment going into it currently, but at the moment it is still at like a crawling speed.
Can't you just go to a 4D cinema?
Exactly.
Inside there, like inside the movie.
I mean, we will see it evolve in time, but like I said,
give it 5-6 years.
It's very slowly progressing right now. And the last thing for technology before we wrap up I want to talk about is drones.
Drones are everywhere.
So drones, they have less geographical restrictions. Drones, they're mobile, they can fly. Some of them can be controlled by AI, some of them human controlled. And this is what provides more opportunities for development and integration within companies. It's been experimented with Amazon, the Amazon delivery drone, drop off parcels at the houses, it's still being experimented on. There is a growing fear though that drones being implemented in the military, how can you control it if it gets in the wrong hands, sort of thing.
No, but they also film like concerts, they do other things.
Yeah, weddings and concerts get filmed with drones. My housemate films weddings with drones as well.
It's very useful. I feel there's a lot of legal restrictions, but yeah.
But we can see drones really being invested upon heavily, and I think it will not only just be companies, but it'll also be military funding as well that go into drones to push them further in the future.
Help kill people.
Yeah, well, hopefully not.
No, like I saw like they find heat signals and they're trying to, even if there's an avalanche or something, they know like certain things and they can get into it, and
then they
it helps for health and safety, for aid or anything. Like it's
scary, but that's the thing with emerging technology. It's scary, but
we have to face it. It's happening.
It is a natural evolution.
It's scary, but we're going to be there. We are in it. We're already inside it.
It's going to happen in our lifetime as well.
We are inside it. That's the thing. We're not waiting for it. We're in it.
Simulation.
We're in it. We're like the Sims inside it. You know, like the game Sims. We're in it. People.
Exactly. And honestly, I think going off all that basically, covers the topic today. What we wanted to talk about. I hope it was informative for you.
Thank you very much. I learned so much. I'm very interested in this thing. It's really cool.
There was a lot to cover there. But like I said, I at least hope that informed you well enough.
Of course. Today I'll be very happy.
And I think that about wraps it for today's episode.
Thank you very much.
So thank you all for listening. And
thank you.
We will catch you on the next one.